No COVID-19 bailouts for firms that use tax havens, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says. The Liberals backpedaled on their initial refusal after pressure from the Bloc, NDP, and Green parties. So much for the theory that minority governments are ineffective. Fuck yes. I wrote my MP about this the day the news came out. I feel like I won a thing. I won a thing. Finally, it's about time. It looks like the government is actually doing something smart for a change. Oh fuck, it's Canada. Americans, glad you got on this, Canada. Can Canada collect from all those folks named in the Panama Papers? I still think he was an asshole for saying tax shelter companies should be supported, but I'm even more happy that we live in a country where politicians are encouraged and rewarded for changing their minds as they receive more data, as opposed to our southern neighbors where is viewed as hypocrisy and therefore no one does it. Too late in the US. Money's out the door already. Thanks, Republicans. Would love to see the UK government do this, but they won't do it to their mates. Well, that is a complete 180 from what he said a couple days ago. Guess minority governments have their advantages, as this change was largely pushed by the NDP, Bloc, and Green Party. Wonder how this will sit with the large corporate interests the LPC is close to. Heck, even the Minister of Finance is all tied up in offshore tax havens, former Liberal prime ministers. Sitting MPs. Wouldn't be surprised if Trudeau himself. There is a reason they haven't pushed the issue of closing the loopholes, or pursuing the tax avoidance by Canadian corporations and wealthy individuals. Here's the thing that confuses me about this. On one hand, these people hate socialism like it kidnapped their unborn child, but on the other hand, they want the government to save them. Like, if you get such a hard-on for free market capitalism, let these bitches sink. Why pick and choose when you want the government to step in? US, I'm looking at you. Props to Canada though. Y'all got room. An American. Please don't get fooled. 99.9% chance it's a hoax, just like for us in France. They had a non-exhaustive list of tax haven and were only taking into account HQ and subsidiaries, not holding nor more elaborated schemes. It's just about calming down the crowds. Since this is r/world news, and there are probably a lot of people who are unfamiliar with the political dynamics of Canada, I just want to catch people up that our parliament is a minority government led by the Liberal Party. Nearly every good thing you've heard about what our country is doing during this pandemic, $2,000/month, it being expanded to students, this, etc., was the result of the NDP, and to a lesser extent, the Green and Bloc parties, putting pressure on the Liberal government. Of course, the main opposition, the Conservatives, have been squabbling over the most inane things and mum about all of this. To sum it up, most of the positive things we're hearing about is due to the NDP's excellent work at putting pressure on our government. Let's not forget that. Not even my country, but I still see this as a win. If you don't pay into the system shouldn't pay into you. Cool. Now get started on making the use of tax havens illegal. That's what I like to hear. You don't support our economy, then deal with your own problems. Honestly, the shipping industry is full of flags of convenience and taxes havens. I like this guy. Canada has the right idea, but here in the circle-jerking Conservative-led UK, Virgin, headed by Richard Branson, is getting taxpayers' money poured in, whilst New Age Branson is a well-known tax exile. That's the UK Conservative Party for you, making sure the born rich get richer at the expense of the born poor. I heard a presenter on TV saying to Cherie Blair, "Oh, this pandemic is nothing to do with party politics, it's about us all coming together, isn't it?" Surprise PK face when Cherie Blair didn't say, "Oh, don't be naive, child, just yes." Fuck off politicians, all of them, but that's a good move Trudeau has made. But I bet he's still a prick. I'm sure I'll get downvoted for this, but I think most people don't realize how complicated this issue truly is, and how many Canadian employees work for companies that use tax havens, and the employees probably don't realize it. Even the homegrown Canadian companies, once they go international, are using tax havens. until it's internationally outlawed, and I think we are eventually headed that way, but not for a very long time. You can't really fault companies for saving money. It's depressing, but we live in a capitalist society where unfortunately profit is the only true driver. I honestly agree with Trudeau when he said that we shouldn't fault the employees for the actions of companies. It's gonna be funny when all the non-corrupt governments do this, then the UK Tory party will just be like, but my brother's company uses offshore accounts grimacing face and all our investors grimacing face and me, my shares in various companies grimacing face grimacing face grimacing face. Just tell them to come to the US where they can proceed to not pay any taxes and we will bail them out to the tune of billions every 10 years or so, and things will never change, because not giving money to the rich is evil socialism. Or so I've heard. Good. This is key to the new economy. Better late than never. With the federal election last year producing a minority government, it ensured that the right leader would stay PM but with greater oversight from the opposition. Makes sense. If you're going to protect your wealth in a tax haven, you shouldn't receive tax dollars. Fuck the cruise ship industry. What a fucking pro. Brilliant move. Frankly, I believe any company that utilizes tax havens should be square dealed. If you don't pay your insurance premium, you won't get a payout. Why should this be any different? Good call. Good, every country should do this. Meanwhile in America, a small first step in the right direction, bravo. Glad Justin came to his senses. Woohoo Bloc and NDP for helping Justin change his mind to the right choice. Yeah. Well done Prime Minister. Ma man. Slightly different than the American version of the bill, where companies that use tax havens get 90% of the handouts. England doing the /look away, JPG meme. Enough corporate bailouts. What leaders need to get done, https://udo. b/alexuumhva4. Fuck yeah Trudeau, that's what I like to hear from Canada's guy in charge. From a fairly conservative American, I wish we would do the same. Didn't he say the opposite like a week ago? Wonder what changed his mind. https://www. Reddit. com/r/canada/com/trudeau /underscore refuses /trudeau /calls /underscore calls /tax /haven/. At last. So is this proof of government listening to its base, or is there something missing? Thank you. Sounds fair to me. If I do not pay into an insurance to protect my assets, and something happens to it, I get a big fat zero from insurance company. But when rich companies do it, they expect a payout from the government that they did not pay into. Respect, respect. I honestly didn't think he'd do it, and kinda just not mention that other leading Western counties were, GJ Trudeau, but keep this spirit up after this is all over and hold people accountable. Makes me feel like a proud Canadian. Too bad it wasn't the first official position. Now to actually fix the loopholes. I have never been more proud and more happy to be a Canadian than this year. It is good for Canada, and therefore the world. Haven't been to Canada, but the more I read about you guys the more I want to visit. I really like you Canadians. Except for your geese. If they attack me I am noping out of there. So proud of how my country is handling this pandemic. Next up, investing in renewable energy flexed biceps light skin tone. I'm glad that Canada is following in Denmark's footsteps. More nations need to get in on this so these corporations know who's boss. Not sure why this is even a discussion. Talk is cheap. My bet is that they get bailouts anyway in some roundabout way. I would have thought this would have been a given worldwide. Seems it isn't. The absolute shamelessness of these companies to even ask. Willing to bet Amazon was the first to apply while booming due to the crisis.